everyone, welcome to the next video in this Agotapop page from her December Tinies on Shelves. I am going to be wearing my magnifying glasses. I just thought I would show you them. I have showed you them before. So I have a little button and they light up, but I don't need to use that because I have a very strong lamp. But it's getting to the time of the day where it's quite dim. I've put the main light on as well as the lamp, and I'm going to pop these on because I really struggled to see when I made this video earlier. So I've had a cup of coffee. I'm going to put these on and it really helps. Even though I wear specs already, they're just not strong enough for close up sometimes. And these specs were from Wilko, which is now closed down. So, but they are very useful in close, but if I try and look up and away, it makes me feel a bit ugh. But no matter, I will carry on. So we have a little bucket of papers, ribbon, scissors, bits of snipped ribbon, and some wrapped parcels to colour today. As I said, this is from Agotapop's December Tinies on Shelves page. The link is in the description, and we're using Derwent Chromaflow pencils. I feel like I need to colour this tub in first, or else I'm going to not know what colour to do all the papers, because I don't want it to disappear into this tub bin, whatever it is. I think it's a bin. I don't know why. I was thinking about doing it black because then it wouldn't matter, but I think that's a little bit boring. So I'm just having a quick look, and I'm going to grab a bluey green colour. It's not very Christmassy though, is it? Does it have to be? Not really. Let's use the mineral blue. Where is it? There it is. I've not used it yet for any of these pages, so I think it could be quite the interesting colour. Just trying to turn my head so my specs are working, because I have very focal glasses, so I have to look through the bottom part to see close up, and then with the magnifying specs on, it slightly changes the head position I have to take to colour, but I can find a position that is very much clearer than without them. The only problem is they give me a bit of a headache. I don't know why that is, but anyway, it means I can colour and I can see. I was going to say I can stay in the lines, but that is no. I can see where the lines are, and I can see myself colouring out of the lines. I don't know if that's a good or a bad thing, really. We need to do this bit. What I'm trying to do here is fade it towards the centre, because we want it to look rounded, and if it catches the light in the middle, it helps it look a bit more rounded. It's a bit messy. It's not going to be our only layer. So I'm going back to the edge now. Now I know what I've sort of planned, and I can try and make the colour a little more even. I don't mean even as in, I mean the fade is even. So where there are bits that look extra white, I can go back over those. For example, it's a pretty colour, isn't it? I don't know, where do you keep all your wrapping paper? I keep mine in a, I've got this sort of, what are they called? A box where clips go over the edges. There's a special name. They're a branded box. Are they called click boxes or something? I don't think they are. Anyway, I've got one specially. We bought it to put videos in. It's that size, but it's perfect for rolls of paper. I stand it up on end, and then the rolls of paper are sitting in this direction, and it just keeps them all together. It's rather handy. I think we need a little bit more here. Like that. Now I want to put a little bit of shadow under this sort of brim. I could use this pencil, but I think it'll be easier if I try and find a darker shade. Just bring my swatch chart down. So that was the mineral blue. It's going to have to be the deep sea. Where's that? There it is. So deep sea. Now this is very dark, so I really am just going to use it for the shadow in there and in there, and then under here. I'm going to fade it towards the middle. There we go. There they are. Now we can start our paper. So this one has trees printed on it, so we need a tree colour. So I'm going to go for the jungle green. Here it is. Sorry, I've knocked my page, haven't I? Very good at doing that, aren't I? There we go. I guess this is why artists tape their pages down. But as I'm leaning on a book and several pieces of paper, I can't do that because it's not flat on the table. I need to sharpen my pencil there. I can do that. There we go. Now, what background on a piece of wrapping paper with Christmas trees? Well, I would say probably red. But we can't have everything red, but I want this one to be red. And we can do different colours for the others. Now this bit here, which is the inside, normally wrapping paper that I see is white on the inside, so I may leave it white. I have seen a few videos. I've got a little bit obsessed by watching reels of people gift wrapping presents. I don't know why. It's a bit mesmerising and interesting, and I watch it and think that's pretty, but I never do that. You know, that sort of thing. And so I'm going to get a red. Scarlet. I'm going to sharpen it a bit, and then. But yes, some of these videos, people have double-sided wrapping paper where there's a design on each side. I think they look really pretty, but I haven't ever seen any. I don't know whether that's a really expensive paper or whether they're from a different country that always sells paper like that, or whether they've made it themselves. You know, I mean, maybe not printed it themselves, but I mean, you know, maybe they've glued two pieces together to make it look pretty. I just don't know. But anyway, I think it's an interesting idea, but also slightly wasteful in that you won't see the one side. I have seen some good ideas though for wrapping, like using two different pieces of paper and wrapping half the present in each and then tying a bow over where they meet. It's quite pretty. I think about doing that. But I do have some strange shaped presents to wrap. Some are easy, some aren't, as is probably always the case for everyone. Fortunately, I don't have anything like a football to wrap. Those always seem quite hard. But I do have a few awkward bits and bobs. But we'll see. My plan, now I'm going to do the edges a bit darker, more intensely, because I want it to look more rounded, and if we make the edges darker, that can help to give that impression. Yeah, I have things like books to wrap. They're great to wrap, aren't they? But it can get more tricky depending on what you're wrapping. Yeah, I think that works. As I say, I'm going to leave the white, and I will make a decision about that later. Now we have a heart-shaped one. I'm going to do some pink hearts. We had heart paper on the one above. Here, look. Dark pink hearts with light pink What should we do this time? We could do a different type of pink. That was blush pink, wasn't it? And hot pink, I think. So let's turn to the more purpley pinks. We could do ultra pink. That would be quite an interesting one. Oh, if I can get hold of it. There it is, ultra pink. And we'll just do all these hearts. I bought a few more sheets of gift wrap the other day. They've got a little Christmas shop opened up in the shopping centre. And they had some 10 sheets for £2.50. I remember when you used to be able to get 10 sheets for 80p. Well, it's going back a bit, showing my age. But they were nice thick pieces and not foiled. I don't like foiled paper because it can't be recycled. So it's nice to use those pieces. I'm wondering whether to try and glue my paper rather than use sellotape, because that's what I see people doing in these videos. We can even use the pink heather. Yeah. And well, they have this little thing that they've just run across and it sticks. And I think it looks a little bit neater. And I was wondering whether it might make it more recyclable, because sellotape is plastic, it can't be recycled, but apparently you can recycle post-its which have glue on. So I was wondering whether gluing might be better, but it might make it harder to preserve the paper, which some people do like to try and do, but not everyone. I know that we've got a dog with us on Christmas Day, not me personally. Where we're going, there'll be a dog. One of the guests is bringing a dog, and the dog loves eating paper, so it might be eaten. So maybe putting glue on it, although tape surely not much better, so I'm not sure. Giving it some thought before I start. I think it's always wise to do that. Right, stars. I'm going to go for the lemon this time. We haven't used it for stars, and it's a little bit duller and slightly greener, and I think it could be quite interesting. I remember a couple of years ago this TV personality, it was Hugh Fearnley-Whittingstall for those who know the UK TV, and he had said how many, if we stretched all the wrapping paper out to that had been used at Christmas, it would reach to somewhere like the moon or around the world 10 times or something scary like that. And I was like, wow, that's a lot of wrapping paper. Oh, my eyes are getting really weird. I just take my specs off for a minute while I choose my colour. I think this might have to be my last video because I'm not sure my eyes are coping, which is very annoying. It's why I usually make videos in the morning, to be honest. It's this sort of evening, strange evening light that doesn't really suit my eyes very well. I'm wondering whether to use something like the Spring Bud. I think I will. Let's put the specs back on. There it is. Spring Bud. I'm going to sharpen my pencil. Yeah, it's 2:45 and it's getting quite dark. But I guess we're close-ish to the longest day. I don't know if it has it on my calendar. Yeah, the 21st is the longest day, the winter solstice. So yeah, it's means it gets dark very early in the evening / afternoon, but also very dark in the mornings as well. So I think my husband doesn't go to work in the dark because he doesn't leave that early, but he certainly comes home in the dark. and the boys leave in the dark and come home in the dark some days. Tomorrow my one son will leave at 7:20 in the dark and come home at 10 to 6 in the dark. I think this is why people struggle a little bit in the winter, but it's always suggested that you try and get a walk or get some light, daylight, but it's not always that easy. Now, yeah, I think that's it there. Now this stripy one here, I thought I might do in a blue, but rather than the sort of turquoisey blue of our pot, we'll do it in a different tone of blue. I am just looking at what I've got. I'm going to use the Mariner to start with. Now remembering that this again needs to be a bit darker on the edge of our curve, so I'm going to try and fade that a little bit as I come towards here. This one's in the middle, so I should just try and make it a little bit lighter. Oh, inconveniently this one's on the other edge, so it needs to be darker on our edge. Just layering up a little bit more, doing a bit less as we come in. Well, it looks quite nice, blue and white, but I'm going to use another blue. I was going to use the Iris Purple actually. Where are you? There, which is a light bluey purple colour. Thought it would look quite nice. Let's see what you think. Now this can be quite even. I think. There we go. Okay. Now we have some ribbon. And I have to make up my mind about the ribbon because it's here and here and here, here and here. So what colour would it be? Well, I'm thinking silver could be the easiest one to do. And it will just match everything, really. So, let's grab our Winter Lake. Let's do this little piece first. Which way should we make it shine? This way. Darker here. Reduce, darker here, reduce, shiny. Same here. Leaving that white bit makes it look quite shiny. This bit I think we'll do that will shine the other way. You see that's been chopped off to make that. It's a clever idea, isn't it? Drawing in the sort of chopped off bits as well. There we go. Now this bit of ribbon again, I'm going to make it easy on myself. Make it lighter here. This bit is higher up, so it will be lighter. So we're going to go quite deep here, and then reduce the amount of layers, and now the amount of pressure to make it lighter there. On this, I think what we need to do is make it dark on the edge, lighter towards the centre. Same on this side, so we get a sort of shiny bit in the middle. And hopefully it will give the illusion that we've got silver, and we're going to do this silver on here as well. While we've got the silver, so the same thing, fade it down and then fade it up, a bit darker here and fade down from there. Like this one. A little bit up from here, down from there. And we're going to do the same on each one, so we've got a little shiny bit, hopefully. Leaving a little bit of white really helps, I find, to get that illusion of shine. The way my letterbox went at the beginning of the end of the last video, it was weird. It was a letter, and I'd already had a letter from the postman, so I can only assume it got posted through the wrong letterbox and someone popped it through for me, because otherwise I don't really get it. We do often have letters in the wrong doors though. Not so much with our neighbours, but there are a couple of streets around here that all have very similar names. The first part of the name is the same, and then you have different endings. And if you get a new postman, they get a bit confused. Or sometimes I think they just can't be bothered. I don't know. Anyway, there's all our silver ribbon. I'm going to do the holder, and I've decided I'm going to do it in a black, because I think ribbon can sometimes be on a black spool. I'm not going to do it really dark black though, but just fade it towards the centre like we've been doing with everything else, like that, so that it looks a bit rounded, but we don't need to leave any white because it doesn't need to shine, not compared to the ribbon. I think it just doesn't stand out then, which I think is good. Okay, let's do these scissors. Now we need a silvery look to these as well. I thought we could use the Oxford grey. It's a little bit of a different shade of cool grey, which will work. So I want them dark up on this bottom edge and then sort of fade off towards the top. Same here, and a little bit there. So we've got like a silvery blade. Then the handle. Now these types of scissors are often orange, aren't they, on the handle? And I think that's what I'm going to do. Orange handled scissors. Although the yeah, I think that's what they look like to me anyway. I'm going to see if I've got the right orange. Not really. Maybe the Autumn Blaze. I just hit the I forgot I was wearing these great big glasses and just headbutted the cupboard. Luckily with the glasses, not my face, but they stick out quite a lot because they fit over the top of my current ones. Okay, so just a light layer to start with, and I'm thinking we could make a bit, this sort of bottom edge a bit darker, like we did with the bottom edge in there, like we did with the blade, and it might give it a more 3D look. There we go. Now we've got these parcels that are wrapped up to do. Oh, sorry, just had to take the specs off again to blink a bit. I'm sort of looking at what colours we've got and what's missing and what will fit in nicely and what will go with silver. Oh, excuse me, I think quite a dark violet-y colour might look nice for this lower one. We've got a nice mauve, let's use that. Where is it? I can't find it. Oh, there it is. Mauve. Just going to sharpen it. When it's newly sharpened, it's always good to do the smaller areas. So I'm going to go in here, do this bit. And then in here. And our end. Oh. Bit of pencil fell lead fell off. Reminds me of the video my son sent me, which showed how much pencil you wasted when you sharpened a pencil. It's quite scary. But then if I didn't sharpen the pencil, I wouldn't use it, so I would waste the whole thing. So I suppose I have to think of it that way, really. If the pencils aren't sharp, I don't get a nice look, I don't think. So it's important. There we go. It was supposed to have been a really nice sunrise this morning, but it was so cloudy here I didn't see it, which was a shame. And tonight it looks like it's going to be cloudy as well. I'm going to go back over this a bit, try and make it look a little bit more even. So yes, I didn't see it, which was a shame. But my sister said it was nice. I'm glad she got to enjoy it. But she said it was frosty there, where she lives. She lives a bit further north. Right, I'm going to go for a darker colour to do some shadow. Actually, I might put the shadow in all at the end. Let's do the box above. Now, I feel we need a bit more of a sort of orangey colour, but I think what I'm going to do, rather than going orangey orange, so I'm going to go for a mango and do the dot circles in the mango and then see where it leads me. Because it's not very matchy with the silvery colour, but I just feel like I need a to balance this out a little bit colour wise. So I'm going to go for sort of orangey red. In fact, there's a red orange. I think I'll use that. Here it is. And then once we all be done with the pencil work, I think we can start doing some, well, we'll do a bit of shadowing actually with some pencils first, because I need to do a bit on this white paper and then in some other areas too, and then we can move on to a few pens. But I need to try and get this orange looking reasonably even. And then I can move on a little bit. There we are. I think that's balanced the colours. I'm not sure how well it matches the ribbon, but we'll blame the person who's doing the wrapping for that, not me. So I'm going to use a little bit of Moon Rock to do a little bit of shadow on our paper. So I need to sharpen it. So here it is, Moon Rock. My son's touched Moon Rock. He did studied geology. So a bit in here, and I'm just going to bring it out a tad, like that. I think it was a really thrilling moment for him. It's nice because sometimes you think teenagers don't really care about anything, but he really understood the significance of what he was doing, you know, and how so few people had that opportunity. And I've touched meteorites, but I don't think they're as rare. And I think they're on a beach and just... I think I've also touched volcanic rock. But moon rock, I mean, that's just like wow, isn't it? So we're going to use the Slate Grey now to do more shadowing, but those, because that was on white, it needed to be gentler. But we can put our Slate Grey along here and here, as well as just generally along the top here. Then we want a little bit here around this pop, and potentially, well, really from the ribbon more than the other present. Like that, and then the same here, that under all these bits of bow. Oops, see, don't do that. I mean, you could do some under the scissors and things, but I don't think I will. Now, I need to think about my metallic pens. I'm not entirely sure I want to do very much, but we might do it on these wrapping papers. We could do a bit of gold around our stars, for example. Let's do something like that. It takes a bit of concentration. Then around the heart with a pink colour. Just makes it look a bit more festive, doesn't it? Paper could look like this. Now the stripy paper, I'm going to use a blue. There's not much left, is there? It's blue. There should be enough of this. And then the Christmas trees. I'm going to use, whoops, I could use a red, but I'm going to use this green. I was reading a few posts on Facebook before I came on. There's a lovely local business that does meals, and they do what they call pay it forward, so you can pay extra for what you're having and they'll allow someone to have a cheap or a free meal, or you can pay what you want, sort of thing, which I think is really good. I'm going to use lastly sort of brassy colour around these circles here, they had no electricity, they couldn't cook their lunches, but they're doing a lovely scheme for the rest of term, because it's quite near the end of term, where children can go, and I think I'm going to do, I feel like I need to do a bit of sparkly pen. And I think what I'm going to do is just go around the edge of our bows, our ribbon. Children can go in after school and have bottomless hot chocolate and toast as much as they can have for free, which is amazing. So it means that anyone who can't afford to feed their child, they can just take them in there and they can fill up on toast. But they can have a free meal as well if they need it. So I just think it's really good. I went there myself the other week, having not been before, and it was interesting. It's designed so you socialise, so everyone has to sort of sit together, and I found that a bit weird, but when I go out I tend to like to just talk with the person I've met, or with my family or whatever, but I think the idea is that people who are strangers can go. That looks better. A bit of sparkle. Can you even see it? Probably not. There you go. There we are. I am going to finish now. Yeah, thank you very much for watching. Hoping that you have a really super day and happy colouring.